everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the hashtag TFR Motivation Monday Zoom. We are Dr. Dondi and Marcy Nettles, and we've got some great content for you tonight on the difference between possibility and probability and how to know where you are in that equation. But before we talk about that, we got this awesome YouTube channel that you all need to know about, be aware of, subscribe to, ring the bell so that when we post something new, you get notified, because we don't want anybody to be left out ever when we have content that can help you be, one, a better network marketer, two, more successful in your leadership and mentorship with your team, and three, more predictably, more probability in your success and showing other people the way, right?
Yep. Absolutely. So we're going to hop right into the calls because we want to make sure that we keep this content nice and tight. We know Monday nights are crazy busy, so we want to make sure that we get this to you guys quickly. So again, the topic tonight is possibility versus probability in your LifeVantage business. And you might be like, okay, what in the heck is the difference? I don't even know, which in the beginning, before I really looked into this, I really wasn't quite sure either until we dove into it, right? We had a great training we were part of last week where one of the presenters brought this to our attention, and I was curious. So the definition of a possibility is a thing that may be chosen or done out of several possible alternatives. So that word may there is bolded and underlined because that means that it possibly won't happen too.
Right.
You know,
that is one of the possibilities.
So there's lots of different possibilities, right? So let's talk about what a probability is. So the definition of probability is the mathematical chance that a given event will occur. Okay, so it's all in the numbers in probability. And so we want to start kind of shifting our mindset away around the way that we're looking at things instead of it just being a possibility. But we want to make things probabilities in our business and actually in your everyday life as well. If you just shift this just a little bit, because the numbers don't lie.
No,
they really don't.
Do not. The answer is always in the numbers. So in this probability formula, when you're looking at the probability of an event occurring, it's the number of ways it can occur divided by the total number of outcomes. And let's do something simple that we're all familiar with as network marketers or new network marketers or probable network marketers. And that's what? Making a phone call. So remember when Marcy talked about the possibility, because it may happen. So in the number of ways it can occur to make a phone call, it can only occur one way. You make the phone call. But the total number of outcomes is one, you don't make the phone call. Two, you make the phone call and it just rings and rings. Three, you make the phone call and it goes to voicemail. And four, you make the phone call and they answer and you actually have a conversation. So the number of ways it can occur is one. The number of total outcomes is possible outcomes is four. So it's 1 divided by 4, or 25%. Now, as you get better at this, your numbers are going to be more probable in your success, because if you're new to this and you're looking at your list and you're apprehensive, and we've all heard the phone weighs 1,000 pounds, because one of the options is not making the phone call. The better you get at this, that's done. So now it's the only options are you make the phone call and no one answers. You make the phone call and it goes to voicemail. You make the phone call and they answer. Now, as you get better and better, maybe think about this. It rings once, it rings twice, you're scared, oh, you hang up. Well, most people don't pick up on the second ring. They pick up after the second ring. So the better you get and the more comfortable, maybe you let it go to the third ring and the fourth ring, and then they pick up. They would have picked up anyway and increased your probability, but you're apprehensive and you kind of don't know what to say. And am I going to sound canned? It's like, am I going to be reading this script? And so you hang up before the answer. The better you get at this, the more probable your success is, which means the better you get, the more confidence you have. You make the phone call, they answer, you have a conversation, and then wherever that leads. But again, in this example, it's the number of ways it can occur divided by the total number of outcomes. And guess who sets that? You. The total number of outcomes is set by you. That's why it is a possibility it may happen, but the more likely you make it happen, you increase your probability. So it's literally a numbers game, and numbers don't lie.
Yeah, it's just a total mathematical equation, right? And as he was saying, the more that we take action and do this, you're going to be getting better because you're going to be building your skill set. But as you're building your skill set, you're also going to be building your confidence. And I will tell you that a confident person is going to be more successful, probably 100 times over somebody that is great at the skill sets. Because if you build your confidence by doing, then you have that energy about you that attracts other confident people, and confident people pick up the phone more often too. So just keep that in mind, that your confidence is something that focusing on probability instead of possibilities, it's going to be increased because you build your confidence by taking action.
That's right.
Yeah.
Action is the key.
Yeah, for sure. So how do we turn success into a probability? Well, we've put together a 4-step process here. The first is decide to run the numbers, right? To do the same things over and over for a long enough period of time until you get the results that you want. But we also know that quote by Albert Einstein, doing the same thing over and over and over again and getting the same results or expecting a different result is the definition of insanity, right? So if you are doing something and you swear you've been doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you're not getting the success you want, maybe it's time to change things a little bit. Maybe it's time for you to go to a mentor, go to somebody that's either a cross-line, an upline, a support team, somebody that you can ask honestly to tell you, it's like, all right, so this is what I'm doing. This is how it's turning out. And what would you suggest I change? Right. And so make sure that you are just make sure that you're going to someone that has more success in their business right now than you do. Okay. You don't want to go and ask someone that is steps behind you in your business for them to take a look at what you're doing, unless they're coming out of the gates just running and with their hair on fire and they're getting great success right away. But you want to make sure that you're asking someone that has already gathered some success in building their business. So number 1 is decide to run the numbers. Number 2,
believe you deserve it. This is interesting. It was looking at some leadership-based and success-based research, because it's all about numbers. Research is just gathering numbers. And it was looking at people with college educations, high school educations, master's degrees, PhDs, and predictability or probability of success. And guess what? There is no more probability of entrepreneurial success with a high school dropout as there is with a PhD, because it's different. Now, doctors, you have to become a college graduate to be a doctor, but success in business as an entrepreneur, the key here is all of the different metrics or evaluation statistics, whether you go to seminars, you read books, none of that matters, because there's people that read books and there are successful people that read books and don't. What this guy who put all this research together is the ones that were successful, regardless of background, regardless of whether they read or don't read, attend seminars, don't attend seminars, whatever, was the people that were successful all had one thing in common. And they had this belief system that they deserved the success, that they were deserving. So in other words, their subconscious mind was congruent with their actions and their conscious mind. Because if you say, I want to be successful, but you've never had your subconscious mind in alignment with you, you say, I'm going to go do this. And your subconscious mind goes, who the heck are you fooling? That person, the little pop up on your shoulder is like, are you kidding me? You've never done that before. And what happens? You stop. But when whether you're scared, fearful, inexperienced, experienced, or whatever, if you decide that you believe it, that you deserve it, that one thing, I deserve this. And because of the people that I'm talking to, they deserve it. They deserve a better life. They deserve better health. They deserve better finances. They deserve a legacy. That's a key factor. Believing you or someone else in your sphere deserves it. That's the most important thing, or that is the second most important thing in these numbers here, but that is a massive, massive difference maker, believing you or someone else deserves it.
Yes. And then the third step is understanding why you want to be successful. Who is this for? What does success look like for you? Right? What patterning are you following? And then number 4,
breaking down the plan, just turning the goal into bite-sized little chunks that are easily achievable. So it's called, if you ever heard of the NHAG, BHAG, NHAG, next happily achievable goal, something that is possible and probable if you go do it. Just break it down and make it simple.
All right, so let's break these down a little bit more for you, okay? So number one, decide to run the numbers. So this should look very familiar to every single one of you because you see it every single month that there's a LifeVantage Academy. These are the 4 LifeVantage core commitments. These are the things that you need to be doing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until you reach the level of success that you want to have. Now, guys, being a product of the product, I would say, is very important because if you are not using the products, how can you recommend them with integrity to other people? Not to mention, these products are vitally important for you having the long health span that your family desires for you if you don't desire it for yourself. So make sure that you are a product of the products. We understand that in the beginning, you probably may not be able to utilize every single product every single month, and that's okay. Make sure that you're started out with our foundational products of activation and then move forward in increasing your experience as you build your business. But make sure that you are activated on a monthly basis. And then the 2 per day, every day. This is the numbers around building your business. This is around the new invites, the new reach outs, the new people added to your database. This is the follow-ups. This is the personal growth activity, right? Just make sure that personal growth activity is not infringing upon your business building activity, but just as important, don't let your business building activity infringe upon your personal growth activity. But most importantly, combine the 2 of them and have your personal growth and your confidence building be part of taking action with 2 per day, every day.
You remember that example that Fraser Brooks gave about personal development and business development?
The circle and walking.
And so 2 per day, every day. So if you are trying to become more successful, because one of the things that I've heard Jim Rohn say and Zig Ziglar say is your business will never grow bigger than you. So personal development is one of the most important things you can do, but developing yourself personally and over and over and over without developing your business, it's like taking a step and then a step with the other foot planted, you're going to go in circles. So in order to grow, take 1 step, personal development, the other step, business development, then take a second step, personal development, second step, business development. So you're always moving forward because they should go hand in hand. So 2 per day, every day could be 1 of each, or 2 one day, then the other the next day, whatever it is for you, but don't overbalance yourself trying to make yourself personally better or business better without growing yourself, because it's important that they go hand in hand.
Yeah. And don't wait to be perfect. I had an amazing mentor tell me just, about 10 days ago. He's like, Marcy, don't ever strive to be perfect. It's like, do your best, but just make sure you're doing. Right. Because the thing is what's going to happen if you ever accomplish being perfect? Where do you go from there? Right. And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. Not to mention that if we put off doing and running the numbers until we feel like we're perfect at doing something, nothing will ever get done. Right. Because your improvement, your progress, which progress is what we want to be focusing on, your progress is going to come in the building of your confidence by doing the things that you're not comfortable with. Because the more you do them, the more comfortable you'll become. And that's where your confidence is going to increase. So make sure that you're doing that. And then the other number that you want to make sure that you are staying on top of is attending all LifeVantage events. Guys, LifeVantage Academy is coming up on Saturday, and I've seen the numbers for registrations. It's not pretty. And that is part of the reason why our businesses are where they're at, is that we're becoming stagnant in our growth. And so our businesses are stagnant as well. We need to look at these events with new eyes. You need to go into these events if you've been part of LifeVantage for a while, or if you're brand new, and you need to look and find the part that you need personally right now, because someone that is teaching is going to say something that you need. Or on top of that, the people that will be there will have some experience that you have not had yet. And in being able to meet other people and build friendships and relationships that you can work together, one of them, maybe their story is going to give you exactly what you need to be able to move forward. So we want to challenge you. If you are not registered for LifeVantage Academy, as soon as this call's over, go and get registered. You can do it through your back office. You can do it through bigbluecalendar.com, and you can do it through the app. So please make sure and go and get registered. And if you're near Phoenix, we would love to see you. We're presenting in Phoenix this weekend, and we would absolutely love to have all of you join us there, right? And then Global Convention. Do you want to talk about Global?
Yeah, before that, I want to talk about something that Marcy and I heard at an Eric Worre event. We were actually, I think it was might have been the most powerful women in network marketing event. It was the after event. And I was overhearing Todd Falcone, who is the networker, the fearless networker, very, very successful guy, legend, literally living legend in network marketing. And he was talking to these young people. That was their first event. And they said, what would you say is the best advice you could give us as brand new people to network marketing? He says, well, first of all, you're already here, so chalk that off. Don't ever miss this event. He goes, but let me share something with you. When you identify a millionaire business in your company, there's a rank, whatever it is. And for LifeVantage ranks, it's an elite distributor. Whenever you hear of an elite distributor who's presenting, whether they're part of your upline leadership or not, within a day's drive or 500 miles, get there. And don't ever miss an opportunity to ever get in front of a millionaire business owner, especially in your company, because they've done something right. That's what LVA is. LVA is at least an elite distributor, meaning they have built at least $1 million a year business, and it's only $25 to attend, whether you're doing it virtually or live, but it's within a day's drive or 500 miles. Pay $25, which is literally $6.75 per hour, to learn the proven business. $6.25. See, it's the new math. I ran the wrong numbers. $6.25 per hour to learn how a millionaire business owner has already done it. And we have one of the numbers are what we are seeing. We are seeing the lack of registration numbers, or LVA. And for what I just can't conceive of that, listening to what Todd Falcone was telling these brand new network marketers, if you ever hear of a millionaire network marketer presenting within 1 day's drive or 500 miles of where you are, don't ever, ever, ever for your career miss one. And I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting, but that applies right here to LVA, which is happening this Saturday. So if you have not registered for the one closest to you, and if it's longer than a day's drive or 500 miles, there is a virtual option, and it's only $25. $6.25 per hour to learn from a millionaire proven business owner. Please register now.
Yes. And then also register for Global Convention, which is
what you wanted me to talk about.
It is. And we kind of need to speed this up. So October is Global Convention. It is in Phoenix, Arizona. The best time to be here. Go and get registered for that as well. Corporate has got some amazing things planned for us, including a block party that is going to be like epic. Okay. So make sure that you go and get registered for the LifeVantage events that are coming up. And then you can stand, in that moral authority, and you can lead by example when you ask other people to do the same things that you are doing. So run the numbers. That's step number 1. Now, step number 2 is believe you deserve it, and the universe will serve it.
Seriously.
Share a little bit about this.
First of all, it comes down to your subconscious mind. There's a great book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, because if you can see it and conceive it, it'll happen. Or if you believe it and conceive it, if you believe it, you can conceive, whatever it's something close to that quote. I should have had it written down. But the key is believing you deserve it.
If you can see it, you can achieve it. I know that.
Yeah,
I know that's part of it.
But anyway, believing you deserve it. And this is something where you've got to convince your subconscious mind, because if you remember the book, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself, here's the crazy, talking about numbers. By the time we're 18 years old, we have heard no, or no, you are not qualified 150,000 times. That's crazy. That's called subconscious programming. You're not worthy. You're not old enough. You're not educated enough. You're not experienced enough. Fill in the blank. No is the answer. So you have to overcome the subconscious thought. And when you decide, I'm going to change this, you've got 18 years of programming to overcome, but it can be done. You just have to decide whether you deserve it, or people that you know deserve it. And that is coming down to the why you're doing this. But if you deserve it, the universe will set it, because it's starting that reprogramming of your mind that'll make it manifest.
Yeah. So before we move on from here, I want to know, first of all, how many of you are already registered for LifeVantage Academy? Put a one in the chat, whether you're on Zoom or on Facebook. If you're registered for Global Convention, put a 2, please. And then if you have ever had a dream that you have not yet achieved, put a 3 in the chat boxes, okay, in the comment section, because I want to see how many of you, first of all, are already leading by example. Oh, awesome, Florence, coming into Global. So good. Now I want you to think about something. Yay, Hagen, way to go. And TFR, whoever you are, hello there, to Global Convention. That's awesome.
Yes.
So good. And Emmy, Jane Rizzo's got all 3 covered. Awesome. So now I want you to think about that dream. Mary Ellen, all 3 as well. I want you to think about that dream, and I want you to picture it. And then I want you to understand that even by being able to think about it, by being able to picture it, see it, that means that everything that you need, you already have. And so we just have to now work the numbers, right? Because we have goals that we haven't accomplished yet too, because we've left them in that possibility realm. Maybe we will, or maybe we won't, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now moving it into the probability realm and knowing that it is truly a mathematical equation, it just sounded weird to me, then we know that we just need to do the do over and over again until we get good enough at it, or we become who we need to be able to have those goals and dreams, right? So, okay, let's see. All right, so awesome. We've got Laura Robbins, we've got Carol Barton, everybody talking about, yes, okay. Awesome, Teresa. She's going to get herself registered. Perfect. Awesome, guys. Great job, guys. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Okay, so let's move on to number 3. So number 3 is, why do you want success in the first place? Because if you haven't decided why you want it and you don't have a clear picture of what it looks like, then truly it will evade you forever. Mm-hmm. It won't happen, right? It will be as if it was like a puff of smoke, and it will dissipate further and further away from you, unless you can pull it back into you and you can get it to a point to where you truly understand first who it's for. Is this for you, or are you going to do it for others? And if you saw the call last week, and if you didn't see the call, I would highly suggest you go and look at it and see what paradigm shift we were talking about in the TFR call last week. You can find that on the Team Freedom Reigns YouTube channel. But go and watch that, and then come and think about, why do I want success? Who is this truly for? If you're doing it all for yourself, it just might not be enough. So you really need to consider who you are going to be doing this for, right?
Yeah. Can I share an example in here?
Go.
This was back in the late 90s. I went to a motivational business seminar, massive seminar in Northern California, where the San Jose Sharks play. Go Sharks, that's my NHL plug. And there was some great people there. Zig Ziglar was there, Jim Rohn was there, Les Brown was there, just the name, and these were live speakers. And one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting is they had a professional jump rope guy, the guy that was like a world record holder in the jump rope. And when they introduced him, I thought, well, this is kind of interesting. What is this all about? Because it was a clear departure from, nobody had ever heard of this guy other than the people in the jump rope circles. But he came up and he said, I want to demonstrate something about when you make it about you, the benefits of your business and success in your business. When it's about you, it's about the house, it's about your rank, it's about your paycheck, how many commas and all this other stuff, versus when you make it about someone else. Now, this is, again, the world champion jump rope guy. And he says, who, by a show of hands, who's never jumped rope before? And this guy within the first few rows raised his hand, really overweight guy. And he says, come up here. I want to show something to all there's probably 30,000 people there. And he says, come up here. You've never jumped rope before. And he said, no. And he says, okay, just let me, he goes, and so he gave a couple demonstrations. He goes, now your turn. And the guy could barely even get over the rope one time. And he says, okay, now who in this audience are fitness people? Very, very healthy, you're into fitness. And he got about like 6 people to raise their hand. He says, okay, you guys come up front, guys and gals, get up on stage. in front of 30,000 people, get in the push-up position. And this guy who's never jumped rope before, is going to jump rope. And when he messes up, you guys on stage are going to do 10 push-ups. So instantly put this guy on the spot in front of 30,000 people. His failure is going to cause people he doesn't know, strangers, which is why he wanted fitness people, they could handle it, to do push-ups. And he whispered some things in his ear, some technique stuff. And he says, do this, whatever. Nobody heard it, but he was telling afterwards what he did. So the guy was jumping rope. He got to like 3, stopped. The people on stage did 10 push-ups. So it was like 6 people doing push-ups. So he tried it again, gave him another tip. He tried it again. He got like 7 times without messing up, stopped. People on stage did push-ups. And then he gave him a couple more tips. And literally within 2 or 3 minutes, he went for over 50 times. Jumping rope, guy who never jumped rope before, because he made his own failure. He felt bad because he was in a public environment, 30,000 people, making people do push-ups when he failed. So he made it about other people. His failure made other people suffer. And 30,000 people got to witness. And most people don't ever get put in that drastic of a situation. But what he did is he said, thanked everybody for participating. He goes, what I just showed you is how quickly, when you decide to change what you're doing from your own benefit to other people's benefit, how you very rapidly find courage, confidence, and results.
Yes.
So the key is, why do you want this success? Is it about you? Is it about your rank? Is it about how much you want to get paid? Is it about the trips you want to go on? And there's nothing wrong with that initially to get you started. But eventually, once you achieve those things, or you've accomplished those things, your why will no longer be present. So it must be also about other people. And when you can make it about bigger groups of people or massive benefit to those people, you're more likely to 1, succeed, 2, stay in the game, and 3, ultimately allow those people to receive the benefit that you decided you wanted for them. When you make it about other people, it comes quickly, you gain courage, you're not as likely to quit when it's about other people, and you can rejoice in allowing them to do it. And here's another thing, when you can do it anonymously, there's no pressure back on you. There's no guilt attached to it, that now they owe you something. So do it for charities, do it for anonymous people, but make it about other people and watch how your results dramatically change.
So take the time to write down, what does your goals and dreams look like, smell like, feel like, taste like, sound like, right? Who's around you? Get very specific and write it down, and then put it somewhere that you can see it, and even better, build out a dream board, right?
Yes.
And then the thing is, though, is that if you have a dream board and you just create it and you put it into a corner and you don't ever look at it, that does you no good. You need to create it, and then you need to keep it in front of your eyeballs, and you need to keep focusing on it and even praying over it for it to be able to come to fruition. So do those things for step number 3. Now, step number 4 is the one that I just absolutely love out of this probability factor. The way that we make things probable is not looking at, I'm going to be a Master Pro 10 on day 1, right? Because that can become overwhelming, and it becomes that big elephant, and you're like, how do I eat an elephant and get to Master Pro 10, right? Well, the same way you eat a regular elephant, you got to do it one bite at a time. You got to break down your plan into tiny, digestible, doable goals. We want to help you get your first wins, and then you want to help other people get their first wins. So first wins could be telling your story for the first time. First win could be getting your first customer. How about hitting the first rank? Or maybe the rank of Pro 3, our foundation rank. And then after you've accomplished that, helping other people do the same thing by creating small, digestible, doable goals that you do. Because once you've done it one time to get to the first rank, why can't you just do that again to get to the second rank?
Right.
And then do it again to get to the third rank? Because truly it is doing the same things in a mathematically, probable way to be able to accomplish the goals that you set. Don't try to eat that elephant all at one time, one bite at a time.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the ranks, they double. So let's say you're sitting at Pro 2. Now all you need to get to Pro 3 is double your volume. You've already got that volume once, just go do it again. And it's easy, you've done it before. So you have that intellectual and experiential muscle memory. But here's something really cool too. When you make it about someone else, you're a brand new distributor, focus first on getting them a 2-digit check. So if you think about, let's just say one bottle of Pro Tandem, 40 PV, 40% of that is $16. Get them a 2-digit $16 check. Once you've accomplished that, then help them get a 3-digit check.
Yes.
Then help them get a comma check. Then help them get a 5-figure leveraged check. And then as you move through that, it's just a matter of one digit, one number at a time, one small, digestible, doable goal, making it about someone else. Because if you're looking, how do I get to be Elite Pro 7? Well, you have to get your first distributor. Then you have to get their first distributor. You have to get them a 2-digit check, then a 3-digit check, then a comma check, then a 5-figure check. But you're focusing on the 5 figures, but you're focusing on the bigness, not the smallness, not the doable. And bigness is not doable.
No.
Bigness is overwhelming. But when you make it about tiny, digestible, doable goals, eating an elephant one bite at a time, and you focus that way and you celebrate wins, tiny wins get you confidence, and discipline get you results.
Yes. So now that we've been talking about this tiny, digestible goals, what probable goals will you set for yourself for the rest of 2022? Take a few seconds right now and just think about that. Is it getting your first customer or maybe your first business partner? How about sharing your story at a presentation and then sharing the company's story and how we make money?
Mm-hmm.
What is your probable goals that you will set for the rest of 2022? Now, don't make them so small that it's like you accomplish it and then you don't have an idea of where you want to go. Just make sure that you build on top of those. Have it be a stair step. So if it is sharing your story for the first time, at the next presentation, you're going to do 2 parts of the presentation. The next presentation, you're going to do 3 parts, right? And then you can move on from there, right? So make sure that your goal, and if you, I mean, we still have, let's see, it's August, so September, October, November, December, January. So we've got 4 full months in the month or in 2022 left, right? So if you wanted to really go for this and hit Pro 1 in the month of August, and then hit Pro 2, let's say, why not September? You could do September or even October, but then by the end of the year, your probable goal could be Pro 3 if you haven't hit Pro 3 yet. And then you want to turn around and you want to help somebody else do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. That's the probability part of it.
Yeah, it's just all about taking action, right? And so we've walked through the 4 different things that we should do for these probable, to be able to bring probability into your LifeVantage business and make it your success a probability, right? That it will happen by 1, running the numbers, 2, believing you deserve it, 3, having a clear why, and then 4, running your plan, right? Or run the play. Just run the play.
Right. Run the play.
Right? Run the play. Absolutely. So anybody want to share what their goals are that they want to accomplish before the end of the year? I'm going to go ahead, and I think that was the last of our slides there. So I'm going to stop the share here just so that we can see everybody that's on here with us. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us here live with us on Zoom. And then everybody that's on Facebook, we appreciate you too. So please, if you want to share what your goal is for the rest of 2022, we would love to hear it. We want to support you. We want to be able to help you accomplish that. I mean, we have goals of wanting to help, 20 people hit Pro 3 by the end of 2022. We want several of those to be personals of ours, right? So it's like we have to be doing those small doable goals ourselves, helping other people accomplish them. So let's see if we've got anything here. Okay, so I'm not seeing anybody. So we would love to know what your goals are, though. So you don't have to put it in here on Zoom or on Facebook. But if you want to message us your goals, we'd love to know what they are and be cheering you on, being able to help you any way we possibly can, because 2022 is not over yet and you still have greatness to bring to the table. And we want to help you with that.
And that's the thing about accountability is tell somebody. Maybe you don't have to tell us, tell your enroller, tell somebody on your team, tell your accountability partner, because once you take what is a goal and you make it public, you instantly have accountability. And there's a reason why sometimes people don't tell anybody, because they don't want the accountability. And here's where it comes down to their subconscious programming, because their subconscious programming is already talking them out of it before they ever make it public. Don't let that be you. Or if that has been you, don't let that continue to be you, because all it takes is one little victory to start gaining one little glimpse of confidence to overcome and start to rewrite years and years, sometimes decades of bad programming, which leads to bad results. So it just takes one little victory. If you don't believe me, ask the person who got it, who's been involved in 10 network marketing companies before, never had success, and then they enroll their first customer. We just heard from Jordan Adler, who wrote Beach Money. He's the #1 guy in send out cards for 12 years. He was in 11 different companies and never enrolled a single distributor. And now he's Jordan Adler. But what if he would have stopped at 10 or 9? Or what if he knew he was rewriting his subconscious programming, and it took his first distributor to change everything, because it was something he'd been waiting 12 years and 11 companies to do. And it wasn't necessarily the company. It was he decided that he wasn't going to quit, and he finally found the right, and he didn't have anybody supporting him.
No.
Except his own attempt to reprogram his subconscious mind. And now he has celebrities supporting him because of who he is. And it's just, that could be your story too. So you just have to, #1, decide you want to change. 2, decide that you deserve it. Run the numbers, make it about other people, and do many little goals to start giving yourself many little confidence, because it just takes one little dose of confidence to overcome decades of failure or perceived failure, and start having your subconscious mind go, well, maybe he's different today, or maybe she's different today. And that's the beginning of an entirely different career for you.
Yes. And we see your comments that you're making. We love it. We're here to help you. You guys are amazing. Keep it up, keep growing those goals, and then just break them down into those, small pieces that you can do.
Yes,
but we appreciate you guys. Thanks for being on here, learning the difference between possibilities and probabilities. We appreciate you, and we will see you again next week. Have a great week, and can't wait to hear your takeaways from LVA.
Yes.
All right, guys.
You're all awesome. See you next week.